Hello, 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 everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back. We're going to be starting part 2 in this book, and that is chapter 3 in Chakra Healing by Margarita Alcantara. And in this segment or section, we're going to be talking about healing your chakras. So this one will consist of applying your new knowledge and using self-healing techniques to address common problems or maladies. Chapter 3 offers an overview of over 40 symptoms and ailments associated with imbalanced chakras. Chapter 4 provides a range of different healing techniques that you can use to balance and heal your chakra system. So we're going to be focusing on the first chapter of this part, which is chapter 3. And there is about 30 pages worth of ailments and symptoms and how you can balance your chakra to help whatever the ailment or symptom may be. So I probably will not read all of these in one video. I'll probably break it up into 2, and I will timestamp them so that you can go straight to whatever ailment or issue you have and learn a little bit more about that specific issue for yourself. All right. So chapter 3, common symptoms and ailments. Often when something is off, we'll experience the first signals through emotional, mental, and spiritual symptoms because they show up in the energy body first. If they are not addressed while in the energy body, they become physical symptoms. In this chapter, we'll go through many common symptoms and ailments in alphabetical order, as well as the affected chakras. These can range from simple symptoms such as neck pain to more complicated issues like addiction. Because a person may experience a particular symptom or ailment for different reasons, we will look at a number of possible explanations. So starting off with, I think, a big one for many people, addiction. The chakras that are affected, mostly the throat chakra, but all other chakras are affected. Addiction occurs when we become dependent on a legal or illegal drug, substance, food, or behavior. Long-standing addiction can cause serious problems for us in relationships, our physical, mental, and spiritual health, our work, and with the legal system. When we are suffering from addiction, we have lost communication with ourselves and others, feel silenced, and feel unable to express ourselves. These are all traits that involve an out-of-balance throat chakra. Although addiction is mostly related to the throat chakra, other chakras may cause the addiction to occur or continue. When we feel ashamed about who we are or self-medicate to avoid processing painful emotions, our sacral plexus chakra is involved. If feelings of low self-worth or powerlessness have played a big part in the addiction, our solar plexus chakra is involved. If we are in our addiction as a result of not feeling grounded or feel like we must do it to survive, our root chakra may be crying out for help. If it is an attempt to quiet our broken heart or we feel disconnected from ourselves, our heart chakra is at the root of our addiction. Our crown chakra is involved in addiction when we feel disconnected from the divine and feel alone in the world. Lastly, sometimes the third eye chakra's ability to perceive more than what is in our physical line of sight, such as having psychic abilities or trusting that which we do not know yet or understand, can be part of a person's addiction. The addictive behavior may be an effort to numb these psychic abilities, because an individual may find them scary or not understand them at all. Adrenal fatigue. The chakras affected is the root chakra and the sacral plexus chakra. Adrenal fatigue happens when we are exposed to chronic stress. Our adrenal glands become taxed by the constant heightened stress response, rendering adrenal health insufficient. Under normal circumstances, the adrenal glands trigger the release of cortisol, otherwise known as the stress hormone, which steps in to help us handle stress. Adrenaline, our fight or flight hormone, is also put in motion by our adrenals. Both of these hormones are activated to help us get out of stressful situations. This is great when used on a short-term basis. However, those suffering from adrenal fatigue have been running on empty as a result of chronic stress response. Some signs of adrenal fatigue include general tiredness, body aches, unexplained weight loss, low blood pressure, lightheadedness, loss of body hair, and skin discoloration or hyperpigmentation. Excuse me. Because the adrenals are the glands of the root chakra and the sacral plexus chakra, any issues around adrenal fatigue, in addition to addressing the causes of stress themselves, should be explored. Because the root chakra deals with issues around feeling secure, grounded, and stable, it is worth exploring areas of unbalance in our lives. It's also worth exploring issues around power and self-esteem, which are traits related to the sacral plexus chakra. Anger. The chakras affected, mostly root chakra, but other chakras are affected. Excuse me. Anger by itself is a healthy emotion. It helps us stand up for ourselves, create healthy boundaries, initiate action and change, and escape harmful situations. However, when it is suppressed, channeled in unhealthy ways, or harms ourselves or others, it can cause discord in our lives. When we are angry over a situation or at someone, the root is often fear. Fear that our safety, livelihood, or survival is being threatened. Because of this, anger often resonates with the root chakra, which is our survival chakra. But fear turning into anger can affect the other chakras too. For instance, our crown chakra may need balancing if we feel like we've been dealt a bad hand in life and are angry at the divine source, universe, God, goddess for the perceived injustice. Our third eye chakra may be involved if we're not in touch with our emotional intelligence. We're unable to trust beyond what we can physically see, such as being frustrated with a current situation without seeing the bigger picture, nor trusting nor trusting that we have options other than what's in front of us, and we rely only on our intellect. If we feel triggered into anger by being silenced or unable to express ourselves, our throat chakra is out of harmony. If our anger is due to feeling like our heart has been trampled on, we're focused on past hurts, we feel lonely, or we find it hard to forgive, our heart chakra needs healing. If we are angry because we've been placed in an unhealthy power dynamic, like dealing with toxic coworkers or an unhealthy relationship, or if we feel things are out of control in our lives, our solar plexus chakra is out of balance. Lastly, our sacral plexus chakra might be out of balance if our creativity is being stifled or our emotions are repressed. Our anger can be simmering and may eventually blow up unexpectedly. Our anger will also come from here when we have experienced sexual abuse or we feel our sexuality has been threatened. Anorexia and bulimia. The chakra affected is the solar plexus chakra. Anorexia is an eating disorder characterized by abnormally low body weight, a distorted perception of one's weight, and intense fear of gaining weight. Individuals suffering from anorexia severely restrict the amounts of food they eat. Bulimia, on the other hand, is when a person binges or eats a large amount of food, followed by an episode of purging, often through vomiting, forced vomiting, taking laxatives, or doing unhealthy levels of exercise. Because both disorders are about harshly judging one's physical appearance, equating thinness with self-worth, and trying to control one's own self-image to correct perceived physical flaws, anorexia and bulimia both result in an out-of-balance solar plexus chakra, the power center for issues around control, self-esteem, and confidence. Anxiety. Here's another one that I think a lot of people suffer with. Chakras affected. All chakras, depending on what type of anxiety. Occasional anxiety is often a part of regular day-to-day life. However, when a feeling of intense, excessive, and persistent worry permeates our everyday existence, it can be debilitating. For some who suffer from anxiety, it can peak into fear or terror within minutes, causing a panic attack, and she's going to talk more about that further on. Oftentimes, it can interfere with our quality of life. Depending on what kind of anxiety you may have, any of the chakras may be involved. For instance, the crown chakra may be out of balance and causing anxiety if we feel like divine source, universe, God, goddess does not have our back. If our anxiety is caused by an imbalance in the third eye chakra, it is usually because we do not trust our own intuition and feel anxious about the unknown. If it is caused by the throat chakra that is out of harmony, we are anxious about expressing ourselves, communicating with others, and saying how we really feel. If we are holding on to past hurts, or conversely, if we are anxious because we are disconnected from our feelings, our heart chakra may be out of balance. If we feel anxious because we are simply overwhelmed by everything, feel intimidated, feel caught in some kind of power dynamic in a relationship, or feel pressure to perform well in our lives, our out of balance solar plexus chakra is causing our anxiety. If our sacral plexus chakra is involved, guilt or shame is propelling our anxiety, usually over intense emotions that haven't been fully processed. This also happens when there's anxiety related to past trauma, especially sexual trauma. If we are feeling anxious about our material survival in the world, like food, shelter, money, and so on, our root chakra is out of balance, making us feel like we are in constant survival mode. Asthma and allergies. Chakra affected, the heart chakra. When we experience narrowing airways and they produce extra mucus, it can trigger coughing, wheezing, and shortness of breath. When we have allergies, our immune system makes antibodies that identify a specific allergen as harmful, even if it may not be. Both conditions can affect one's quality of life. Oftentimes, these conditions are due to a compromised immune system and may cause respiratory distress and inflammation in our skin, airway, sinuses, or digestive system. But because they are in the realm of the heart chakra, sometimes these types of physical reactions can be linked to an imbalance in that chakra, particularly if we are having issues around grief, heartache, love, and compassion. Back pain. Pain in any area of the back, upper, middle, or lower, that hasn't been caused by physical trauma or repetitive physical stress may be saying something about chakra health. Pain can range from a dull chronic ache that keeps the back tight to sharp acute pain that limits range of motion. So we're going to talk about upper, middle, and lower back. So the upper back, the chakras affected are the throat and heart chakra. Sometimes when we are not speaking our truth or when we are experiencing heartache, heartbreak, a threat to self-love, or difficulty in love with others, the resulting tension can actually manifest physically as tension or pain in the upper back. We may also be feeling unsupported, unloved, or that we are holding back love. Middle back, the chakras affected is the heart and the solar plexus. When we have issues around love, feeling loved, holding on to past hurts, or feeling challenged in our power, we may experience tension or pain in the middle back. Sometimes this happens because we are stuck in those past feelings and may feel racked with a sense of guilt over what we have done or said to create a situation. And the lower back. The sacral plexus chakra and the root chakra are the chakras affected. When we are feeling challenged in our abundance, relationships, creative expression, holding back emotions, or simply not processing them, having issues around survival and obtaining the basic necessities, we may suffer tension and pain in the lower back. We may especially have back pain not due to physical trauma when we feel financially unsupported. Cancer. Chakras affected, all of them. Cancer occurs when abnormal cells develop and divide uncontrollably, infiltrating and destroying normal body tissue. It can happen on many different levels, and the symptoms vary depending on which parts of the body are affected. Some symptoms include fatigue, weight changes, skin changes, palpable lumps, or areas of thickening under the skin, unexplained and persistent muscle or joint pain, and unexplained and persistent fevers or night sweats, among others. Factors known to increase risk of cancer include age, habits, family history, health conditions, and environment. However, the Mayo Clinic states that the majority of cancers occur in people who don't have any known risk factors at all. In terms of energy, cancer can be the result of long-standing resentment and deep hurt that has been left unprocessed, ignored, or denied, manifesting in carrying hatred, grief, or other toxic emotion that eats away the self. These can manifest on many levels and as a result of imbalance in various chakras. So brain tumors, crown chakra; lung cancer, throat and heart chakra; cancer of the thyroid would be the larynx and esophagus. Cancer of thyroid, larynx, and esophagus, hand in hand with throat chakra; breast cancer, the heart chakra; cancers of the stomach, liver, intestines, and pancreas, solar plexus chakra; cancers of cervix, ovaries, uterus, colon, and rectum, root chakra; prostate and rectal cancer, sacral and the sacral plexus and root chakras. Codependency. The chakras affected are the root, heart, solar plexus, and sacral plexus. When we are in a dysfunctional, one-sided relationship where we rely on our partner excessively for most of our emotional and psychological needs, we are said to be codependent. Codependency also describes a relationship that enables another person's irresponsible behavior or addiction, where one partner regularly sacrifices their needs and wants to help the other, to the point of giving up part of themselves, having poor boundaries and low self-esteem, feeling insecure, and poorly communicating painful emotions. Because codependent relationships are often based on the fear of abandonment and rejection, there is a direct link to the root chakra, where fear-based actions and feelings stem from. Codependency often arises from childhood, when a dysfunctional family ignores or denies pain, fear, anger, or shame. This can include when a family member is dealing with addiction, when there is physical, emotional, or sexual abuse, or if a family member is suffering from a chronic mental or physical illness. Issues stemming from unresolved family pain are also related to the root chakra. With codependency, there is also an imbalance in the heart chakra, mainly because we are focused on our love toward others rather than our love for ourselves, which is often set aside. It's a type of disconnect from our heart center. When this chakra is out of balance, it can also lead to a lack of discernment in relationships. Because our self-esteem is challenged as a result of and upon entering a codependent relationship, our solar plexus chakra is also affected. If our sacral plexus chakra is unbalanced, then any feelings regarding shame, guilt, anger, and resentment will surface in codependent relationships, as well as a lack of healthy boundaries. Conflict. The chakras affected are the throat, sometimes the solar plexus, and sacral plexus. When we are in conflict with someone or something, and we disagree with what is happening or what someone is telling us, there is a disagreement on what is being expressed. Sorry, I thought I read that wrong. Whenever we have an issue around expression and communication, the throat chakra is involved. Sometimes we may avoid conflict altogether, which is a version of silencing ourselves. When we silence ourselves, we become resentful, and the uncommunicated feelings remain pent up within until we finally explode. Whether we seek conflict, avoid it, or simply find ourselves within it, our throat chakra is trying to be heard. We are trying to be heard, express ourselves, and communicate what we really feel. Conflict may also be a sign that our solar plexus chakra needs attention. Since conflict can indicate that our personal power is being challenged or that our sacral plexus chakra is involved, since the sacral plexus chakra is the seat of our emotions. Constipation. The chakras affected is the root and possibly solar plexus chakra. Difficult or infrequent bowel movements may indicate constipation. Because the rectum and anus are at the level of the root chakra, any dysfunctions involving these parts of the body can indicate that our root chakra is out of balance. It may be helpful to consider whether you are feeling triggered with survival issues that are causing stress. Primal needs like having food to eat, water to drink, clothes to wear, a home to sleep in, and feeling safe and secure. Because constipation is physically a result of an imbalanced digestive system, it would also be helpful to make sure that the solar plexus chakra is balanced. Experiences of fear, lack of confidence, lack of self-respect, and difficulty feeling in touch with our power may also affect the digestive process, creating colon or intestinal problems and other disorders. As a result, an imbalance in the solar plexus chakra may contribute to a root chakra's constipation issue. Depression, another one that a lot of people are affected by. Let's see. So the chakras affected are the crown and the heart. Depression can happen for a number of reasons. Sometimes it passes through temporarily, other times it can be a constant presence in our lives. Oftentimes, those who suffer from chronic depression, it can feel debilitating, and it can be debilitating. Depression can feel like persistent sadness, emptiness, or hopelessness, the absence of pleasure in day-to-day activities, and as though life at times is not worth living. It can also affect our appetite and our sleep, either keeping us up or making us need to sleep too much. Sometimes there will even be recurrent thoughts about death or suicide. When we are depressed, one of the main root causes is a deep feeling of loneliness. This is why depression is mainly linked to the crown chakra. Very interesting. When we feel connected to the rest of the world and the divine, our crown chakra is open and balanced. When we feel disconnected from the world and even have anger toward the divine at how our life has unfolded, it is usually an indication that our energy in this chakra is out of harmony. In addition, an unbalanced heart chakra may cause depression due to lack of connection with ourselves. Digestive issues. The chakra affected is the solar plexus. When we have difficulty digesting problems that arise in our physical lives, we feel it energetically too. If you've ever lost your appetite or conversely had a ravenous one as a response to stress or overwhelming news, you already understand the effects of the solar plexus chakra. Because this chakra is our power center, when we feel challenged in our power, such as feeling low self-esteem, intimidation, or powerlessness, this chakra becomes imbalanced, and because of this, digestive issues can occur. Disconnection from self and others. The chakra affected is the heart. When we are disconnected from who we are, from how we feel, and from our dreams, passions, and what lights up our heart, this means our heart chakra is out of balance. Oftentimes, this first displays as frustration with not feeling connected with others. We may find ourselves spending long periods of time by ourselves, but not in a way that rejuvenates our spirit or helps us feel connected with ourselves. It's usually accompanied with a general feeling of malaise or discontent about life. We want to feel joyful, but don't, or are not in touch with what makes us happy. Sometimes we may be depressed, which often happens when we are disconnected from ourselves. We all want to connect with ourselves and with others. It is hardwired into our human existence. People who are fully disconnected from themselves may not even be aware that they are. They may be fully entrenched in their daily schedule, living on autopilot or in a survival mode, not from a place of gratefulness, engagement with who they are, or connection and awareness of how their daily activities make them feel. Those who are able to create awareness around their daily activities and even do quick check-ins with themselves during the day are more able to create a connection with themselves and can begin a more healthy connection with the heart chakra. Let me see what I have left here because I think it was 30 pages. So let's see. I'm just going to see where I started from. I apologize for that. Okay, so I think that is about halfway through, although it doesn't feel like it, even though we go from A to W. Of course, she doesn't touch on every ailment and every malady and every dis-ease or discord. But we're starting on Yeah, so we left off at D, and then we'll go from F and forward, because even though we have F to W, there's not a large portion. This section was 30 pages, not counting the brief introduction and then the brief ending page. So this is about halfway through. So I'll read one more, and then we'll probably call it a wrap on this video. Fatigue. The chakras affected are the solar plexus and the crown chakra. When exhaustion is ongoing, increases, or isn't relieved by rest, there is a constant state of weariness and our energy reserves feel depleted. This affects concentration, focus, energy, and motivation, which eventually impacts us energetically. If we are the type who's prone to adrenal fatigue, addicted to being busy, or habitually overwork ourselves, we are driving ourselves into fatigue due to solar plexus chakra imbalance. Fatigue is related to the solar plexus, our power center. When we link our self-esteem and self-confidence to our performance in the workplace or in life, we take it personally if a project fails or appears to be subpar. We then work ourselves into a frenzy to meet a perception of perfection, which results in fatigue. On the other hand, if our fatigue is due to depression or feeling disconnected from the divine, the crown chakra is in need of balancing. Let's go ahead and just finish F. It's just 2. Fear. The chakras affected are the root and solar plexus. When we feel fear, we perceive someone or something as dangerous. We feel it is going to cause us harm or is threatening our existence. Fear causes a change in brain and organ functions, activating a cascade within our sympathetic nerve system that brings us into fight or flight mode. It is an adaptive behavior that helps us identify threats and survive predators and natural disasters. Fear is helpful for survival. However, being in this state for too long can negatively impact our lives. Some issues that can trigger this primal reaction are around basic survival needs and feeling secure in our lives, neighborhoods, and families. Anytime our basic needs are threatened, it creates an imbalance in the root chakra. And if we've been taught at an early age to stay in this fear, it can create long-standing root chakra disharmonies that affect us as adults. Staying in fear for long periods of time can also affect our hormonal system and cause adrenal fatigue. Another chakra that can be affected when we feel fear is our solar plexus chakra. This is often a result of the initial root chakra imbalance. Not feeling supported in our basic needs can create a sense of powerlessness and challenge our self-esteem, both of which are related to the solar plexus chakra. All right. So we're going to leave off right there, and then we'll read G through W in the last section of this book. And I will tell you that the last one, we're going to go over lots of different things that the author recommends to help unblock and treat. I will tell you personally 2 things that I've started doing. I do several little things, but it's 2 things that have absolutely changed my life as far as how I feel energetically, how I feel energy level wise, and how I feel physically. The first one is somatic yoga, which basically helps to release stored trauma, stress. It lowers the cortisol. It helps you to stay mindful in your body and present and paying attention to your body. And then, of course, the other one that I talked about earlier, which is Kundalini yoga. I find it absolutely, those 2 together, I usually do just a short somatic routine, and then I do Kundalini. And sometimes I throw in just regular yoga in there. There's several different kinds, but you have to find something that works for you, something that you enjoy. This way, healing does not always have to be something that's to be dreaded. It can also be something that you enjoy, something that makes you feel good about yourself, something that you look forward to. So you just have to find what works for you. And those are the things that I found work for me as far as setting aside time to be mindful and present in my body, along with all the little things that I do throughout my day that really, really helped me. But those are the two right off the bat that really, really have made a difference in my life. So, all right. So again, we're going to stop right there. We'll go over the rest of the symptoms and ailments in the next video. And then we're actually going to talk about healing remedies and treatments. And she will also talk about healing more than one chakra, because it is absolutely possible and probably more common that each one of us has more than one chakra that is blocked and needs to be balanced and needs to be cleared. So mark my spot right there. And until next time, please take care of yourself. Please take care of those around you. I will see you again soon for the next section of this book. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.